Good afternoon, and welcome to another Ifa Temple Service broadcast. My name is Baba Anthony, and I am the Awo with Okamran Day Temple here in Miami, Florida. Um, Today's message is something that's kind of been on my mind. Oftentimes, being online and in different forums and having conversations with others, a question that comes up often is I feel like somebody has done me wrong. How do I get revenge? Or, why do I have so many enemies? Why can't people just leave me alone? And I always try to give the advice of, let's not spend time and energy focusing on enemies. Let's not spend our resources focusing on enemies. Focus on trying to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish in your life and the things that you want to be great and be successful at. And then that will be your revenge. Like that will be, what takes you above those who wish you harm. Um, and I always feel like sometimes the message is heard, but then sometimes others are like, no, I really can't. And I really I want to do something, or I want to spend money on something or have something done to these folks. Well, I will stick by my words of, forget about those who wish harm against us, forget about those who don't want to see us succeed, and be our own people, right? Focus on trying to be good at what we do. And so today I thought I would share a story. Um, I look at the Orisha and the Iromole as our teachers because they go through or have been through so many of the things that we are currently experiencing in our life, that we can learn from the stories of Ifa and Orisha, the stories that are in these different Odus. And unfortunately, unlike uh, Christians who have the Bible, the Jewish folks who have the Bible, the folks of Islam who have the Bible, all of these different groups who have Bibles, right? They have a text to study while we don't. So for us, it's a little bit different, but that's why we have temple service, right? With temple service, I'll try to share messages and stories that apply to our everyday life. So let's take a look at a story from the Odu of Ogbeate. That's Ogbe on the right and Irete on the left. Right, let's hear the verse. Ashe. Oni wolo jinwolo, ibombonto hun dohorun, ogun juruju, ifani elempwe bode, oterere lomi ibana kako. Ifa declares that I know it. I chorus that I know it. He asked, the stream is under what substance? I responded that they were wrapping moi moi meals for the infants. They were wrapping akara for the young ones of Oke Ijero land. They were killing 200 people on this hillside. They were also killing 200 people on that hillside. Orumila declared that when he got to the world, and 16 years after, he constructed his property. He was also honored with title. He sat on 3 molded heat foundations. He heard different sounds outside the frontage of his house. Ifa demanded to know what was happening that was making them to make such noise. They responded that they were performing a wedding ceremony for their daughter. Orumila responded that that was his mother, he declared. Mother, mother, gently, whose pet name is Mosi Ore, whose praise name is also Ojeji Jeji Intere. Go to your matrimonial home with your destiny. Do not rely on your beauty. It takes only one day for beauty to return, but destiny accompanies one to one's matrimonial home. The matrimonial home, which is agreeable to one, is where one makes a permanent heart and stone. You will give birth to children as sweet as the star mango, and those as plump as the cherry mango. None of your births will ever bring you discomfort. By the grace of the origin of those 3 esoteric words, which never fail to manifest. Ashe. So here we have a story where Orunmila was narrating what was going on during this particular time in his life. He had explained that there were people that were focused on making life comfortable for infants, for young ones. Some other people were busy entering into senseless wars, right? People, hundreds of people were getting killed, hurt, and it was breaking down society. So Rumila had moved. He decided he was going to move on from this place um, where he had spent 16 years. And then he'd found another place where he had erected his own home, a building. And at the same time, he was given a chieftaincy title. Shortly after this, he was explaining that he was hearing sounds outside of his home, outside of where he was living. And he was asking the question, he was like asking the townspeople, what's going on? I hear all of this stuff outside of my home, down the street, can you tell me? And they said, there's a wedding activities were going on. And some people are giving the hand of their daughter in marriage. Orunmila, among hearing this, had realized that it was his mother that was being married. He was so happy. He was so excited for her. He was beyond himself. He started to chant and give blessings, right? He said that he wanted her to have peace and comfort of home, that he wanted her to have a beautiful family that they can grow, that they would have beautiful children, that none of her pregnancies would be harmed at all. It would be easy, and that her children would grow to represent her in a fantastic way. And so Orunmila was spouting off these blessings. He was so excited and wished nothing but goodness for his mother. But what was interesting is that some people heard Orunmila giving these blessings. And for some unknown reason, as he was giving these blessings and saying all these wonderful things about his mother, they were like, why would someone say that about their mother? Like why does he think that way? Why does he speak that way? This is his mother. He shouldn't be, talking. I don't know. It was like a weird kind of vibe. As you hear and understand the story, you start to think to yourself, like, what were these people thinking and why were they so offended? Well, Orunmila thought nothing of it. He just continued on his way. But these folks who heard this, they started to walk around and tell other people, hey, could you believe Orunmila would say this? That, it's his mother that's getting married, and this is all the things that he's saying about her. And so with that, they started to get people on their side going, why would Orunmila talk like this about his own mother? It started to spread, I guess you could say. So as these people heard this, they started to think negatively of Orunmila. He started to develop enemies for what seemed like no reason at all. And they said, one of the curses which they tried to heap on top of Orunmila, they said that they hoped that his head would enter the world and be brought down, that his head would be so heavy with so much turmoil that it would be brought down. But interestingly enough, the next time that they saw Orunmila, they were surprised that he stood tall. He stood tall. He had a crown on his head that was filled with jewels and gold, and it was beautiful, right? They could not believe what they had seen. And so the next thing happens is that as they saw Orunmila again, they said, we don't think anything about it. So the next thing they thought to themselves, they said, well, let's heap more curses on top of Orunmila. Let's talk about let his neck not be strong enough to hold his head, that he would fall to the ground and hurt himself. Well, the next time they saw Orunmila had beautiful beads wrapped around his neck, and he stood even taller with pride he had the most expensive beads around his neck, and people were looking at him like, this is insane. Why is Orunmila so blessed. Don't they understand his words that he had uttered? They were so angry at Orunmila. And Orunmila had enemies for what seemed like no reason at all. Okay. So they continue their words of harm towards Orunmila. And they said, well, let something happen to him where he damages or hurts his waist so that he falls and he's not able to do any more work. The next time they see Orunmila, he has beads around his waist that are more expensive and bigger than any beads that anyone has ever seen. They were beside themselves, livid, angry, right? This continues on. they go to the next thing they say, Orunmila, may his legs not take him any farther in life. May his legs drag him down so that he is no longer able to walk. As they heap their curses upon Orunmila in words and wishes, the next time they see Orunmila, he is wearing the most beautiful sandals, most beautifully decorated sandals. They had ostrich feathers. They had jewels on them. They were magnificent. Orunmila stood even taller. Well, his enemies refused to give up. They were looking for any reason to bring Orunmila down. All right. So they all decided to gang up against Orunmila. Well, Orunmila had realized that his enemies were saying things to try to bring him down. He realized that there was a lot of negativity surrounding him and that people had so many words. So what does he do? He decides to go and have Ifa cast for himself. Right? He goes to have Ifa cast for himself. And the messages come. The mat is spread on the plank bed. The sheet is spread on the mat. The pillow is placed on the decorated mat. The Oba rested peacefully on the pillow. The peacock feather on the Oba's crown. Only fools chased after the houseflies. These were the declarations of Ifa to Orunmila when they said that he would face no repercussion. Overall, what he was doing, he was advised to offer Ebo. So the Awo had told Orunmila that everything was going to be fine. He needed to offer Ebo and prepare a special meal with special ingredients that he needed to consume. And once he consumed those items, he was going to face no challenges or no issues in his life. Anything that these people or enemies wished upon him would never manifest. And essentially, those who were his enemies were now going to see him even more successful than ever. Right? Orunmila says, Ashe. So he offers his Ebo. The Awo prepares the medicine for him. And this, in the end, this is the story how Orunmila succeeded in putting all of his enemies, his naysayers, to shame. Eventually, in the end, they left him alone to enjoy his life that was filled with peace and comfort. This, to me, is such a beautiful story, right? We have the story of Orunmila, our prophet of Ifa. He is going through the ringer with people who wish to see him fail, right? He's done nothing wrong to these people. He simply had uttered words for the success of his mother and her new marriage and her new family, right? If we think about the verse as it started, the advice that he was giving his mother within the verse, he says, focus on your good destiny and let your destiny manifest. Do not consider thinking about simply just your beauty, right? He said, beauty lasts for only one day. So don't think about, oh, I need to worry about how beautiful I am. No, you need to focus on your good destiny and manifesting your good destiny with your new family. Those were his words to her. And at the same time, while his words seemed terrible to others who were listening, right, he was doing the same. He was focusing on his own good destiny that was manifesting day after day. And those people who were considering him as his, like they wanted to be his enemies, right? They were choosing that route. They wanted to see him fail. They couldn't. And so his revenge to them was just to be more successful than the time that he was, they saw him before. He was focused on his thing. He's like, I don't have time for this. I'm going to keep moving forward and doing me. This is the best advice that I feel like we can have as people of Ifa. We will have people who speak negative things about us. We will have people who wish for us to fail. We will have people who want to see us in the gutter day after day. Our greatest success, our greatest form of revenge is to show our enemies our success. Think about that. Our greatest form of revenge is to show our enemies our success. If we can do that, things will be good. Let them worry about them. Let them waste their time. Let them waste their resources. Ifa will support us. The Orisha will support us. Right? In order to maintain the support of the Orishas, we need to be doing things that we have to do, right? I can't go past or talk about any of this without focusing on how we're supposed to live our lives as Ifa and Orisha people. We need to be patient. We need to be honest. We need to be truthful. We need to be humble. Right? We have to show the humility. We have to be understanding. We have to be dedicated. These are aspects of our practice that we cannot be without. If we start to break those tenets, our life can be a little bit chaotic, right? If we believe that we need to harm somebody else, then we're introducing chaos into our life ourselves. So consider that, even though you may be upset about what someone said, what someone did, what someone thinks, try your best to remove that from your mind and focus on your good destiny. If you can do that, you will be successful. Shit. So I just wanted to share that short message with you today, and I hope that you can take this to heart, because this is a really important part of what we do in Ifa and Orisha, right? As those who reach out to find out what they can do to get back at someone, again, I urge you, don't waste your resources. Focus on trying to improve your life, because with every improvement, you help to bring them down anyway. That's just the truth. So I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week. I wanted to share a bit of great news. We have Chief Shalabade Popola and Ifa Kolade from California coming to Miami in November, at the end of November, November 25th through December 2nd. We will be hosting Ifa ceremonies. We will be doing Esentayes, birth ceremonies. We will be doing hopefully a wedding ceremony and a few other events, Ishefa, Hands of Ifa, as well as talks, which we're working on organizing topics for. But we're looking to have a wonderful week, having Chief here and having Oluo Ifa Kolade, as well as a couple of other Oluos who will be coming to visit. So all of this information will be shared shortly through our webpage, through our Facebook page. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting our temple. If you like what we are saying here at our temple, the messages that are being shared, please click the share button, and please consider donating to our temple, because we would love to be able to offer more to the community and have bigger events, and all those things and grow our temple here in Miami. So any support would be wonderful. All right. I wish you a blessed day and a wonderful week. Aboru aboye, aboshishe obrato.